Komodo dragons, essentially the biker gang of the reptile world, strut around with an attitude that says, "I'm big, I'm venomous, and I'm ready to prove it." These giant lizards, equipped with a venomous bite that seems like an evolutionary overkill, are the heavyweight champions of the lizard domain. Relying on their keen sense of smell, they use their long, forked tongues not for ice cream tasting contests, but to sample the air for the faintest whiff of their next unfortunate victim. These creatures can spend what seems like an eternity lurking in the shadows, embodying every suspense trope known to cinema, until some unsuspecting animal stumbles into their kill zone. Then it's game over. The Komodo dragon's approach to dining involves serrated teeth that wouldn't look out of place in a horror movie, designed not just to inflict damage, but to ensure its prey has the worst day imaginable. Tipping the scales at a hefty 154 pounds, on average, think heavyweight boxer, but less chatty, these lizards are the undisputed kings of their domain. The heaviest recorded Komodo dragon was a real Godzilla, stretching over 10 feet long and weighing in at a staggering 366 pounds. At this size, they don't just dominate their ecosystems. They practically run a dictatorship. Now the intriguing question that tickles the imagination. What happens when this behemoth encounters other top-tier predators? It's like asking which superhero would win in a hypothetical brawl, but with more scales and less moral ambiguity. So, who would win in a no-holds-barred throwdown featuring a Komodo dragon and, say, other apex predators like lions, tigers, or even sharks? Provided we somehow manage a fair fight location. The showdown would be less of a battle royale and more of a reality check for our scaly friend. Despite its impressive resume, the Komodo dragon might find itself outmatched in raw power and agility against something like a lion or tiger. These big cats don't mess around, and their version of a welcome hug involves claws and teeth that can make quick work of even the mightiest lizard. And as for sharks, well, unless our Komodo dragon has developed a taste for deep sea diving and learned to breathe underwater, it's probably best to leave the oceanic apex predators out of this hypothetical matchup. Crocodiles, the undisputed mob bosses of the waterways, are nature's perfect blend of terror and prehistoric chic. When it comes to the animal kingdom's hierarchy of horror, crocodiles sit comfortably at the top, sunglasses on, not a care in the world, except for their next meal. The scenario where anything survives a crocodile encounter is akin to winning the lottery while being struck by lightning. It's technically possible, but don't bet your retirement fund on it. Now, enter the Komodo dragon, essentially a lizard with delusions of grandeur, thinking it can tango with a croc. Spoiler alert, it can't. Let's set the stage with a Nile or saltwater crocodile, creatures so formidable they probably view horror movies as comedies. Against such a behemoth, our dear Komodo dragon doesn't stand a chance. It's like bringing a butter knife to a tank fight. Smaller crocodile species might offer a more balanced matchup, but that's like saying you'd prefer to fight one horse-sized duck instead of 100 duck-sized horses. Either way, you're in for a bad time. Saltwater crocodiles can hit the scales at 1 ton, making them more than just a heavyweight contender in any battle. They're in a weight class all by themselves. The Komodo dragon, bless its scaly heart, would find itself outmatched, outgunned, and out of options faster than it can say, "Oops!" Imagine the dragon finding itself in the sights of a crocodile. That's not a battle, that's an entree. The infamous death roll of the crocodile would turn the Komodo dragon into a spin-class dropout, flunking out with fatal consequences. And let's talk venom. Crocodilians look at snake venom the way most of us look at expired milk, with mild, disdainful immunity. The notion that a Komodo dragon's venomous bite would faze a crocodile is laughably optimistic. It's like hoping a sternly worded letter would deter a tank. Their immune systems are so robust they could probably shrug off a biological weapon with little more than a sneeze. So, the bacteria-packed bite of the Komodo, its ace in the hole, would be about as effective as a placebo. In the hypothetical gladiator arena of nature, where we pit a tiger against a Komodo dragon, the outcome seems as though it's scripted by a particularly sadistic reality show producer. On one side, you have the Komodo dragon, essentially a relic of the dinosaur age that missed the memo about extinction, relying on ambush tactics that are as underhanded as they are effective. On the other, the tiger, nature's version of a stealth assassin wrapped in fur, boasting a resume that includes taking down creatures twice its size. Komodo dragons, the sneaky strategists of the reptile world, prefer to hit and run, delivering a venomous bite with all the subtlety of a mob hit. They then recede into the shadows, probably humming the theme from Jaws, waiting for their venom to do the dirty work. Meanwhile, tigers, who have mastered the art of the ambush, aim for a swift and decisive victory, targeting their prey's spine with the precision of a seasoned chiropractor, albeit with a significantly higher fatality rate. Should a tiger leap onto a Komodo dragon, it might initially regret its life choices upon encountering the dragon's armored neck, akin to biting into a surprise steel sandwich. Eventually, though, the dragon would succumb, leaving the tiger to ponder the wisdom of its attack strategy. Conversely, should the Komodo dragon land the first bite, the tiger, in a fit of feline fury, would likely dispatch the dragon post-haste, not so much out of revenge as out of sheer annoyance. The narrative takes a grim turn, however, as we consider the Komodo's venom, the slow-acting, insidious chemical concoction that turns its bite from a simple ouch to a lingering oh no. Tigers, despite their prowess and ability to tackle adversaries like crocodiles, find themselves in a peculiar predicament. Yes, they can and probably will overpower a Komodo dragon. Yet, victory is bittersweet, as the dragon's parting gift, a cocktail of venom, ensures that the tiger's triumph is short-lived. This morbid dance of death between tiger and Komodo dragon doesn't end with a clear victor. Instead, it concludes with both participants bowing out, albeit in a less than graceful manner. It's a Pyrrhic victory that underscores the brutal impartiality of nature, where even the mightiest predator can fall victim to the strategic cunning and biological weaponry of its prey. Imagine, if you will, the ultimate showdown in the realm of cold-blooded combatants. The anaconda, essentially a prehistoric tube of muscle with a penchant for squeezing the life out of anything it can wrap itself around, versus the Komodo dragon, a venomous relic of the dinosaur era that looks like it wandered out of a monster movie. This isn't just a battle. It's a clash of titans, each with their own set of ancient lethal skills honed over millennia. Sort of like ninja grandmasters if ninjas were into constricting or poisoning instead of throwing stars and stealth. Anacondas, these serpentine behemoths of the Amazon, have been known to take on crocodilians in some of the most epic battles nature has to offer. It's like watching two armored tanks go at it if tanks were made of scales and primal instinct. The anaconda's strategy? A death hug. It's not a quick process. The anaconda slowly but surely squeezes the life out of its opponent, a method it's perfected to a terrifying art form. The thought of this giant snake applying its time-tested crocodile wrestling techniques on a Komodo dragon is a scenario that could only be described as nature's own horror show. Now, envision a Komodo dragon which, despite its fearsome arsenal, finds itself in the unenviable position of being the underdog in this particular matchup. Sure, the dragon comes equipped with sharp claws and venomous bites that are the stuff of legend, capable of bringing down creatures many times its size. But against an anaconda? It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. The dragon's venom, while formidable, isn't the instant kill weapon it would need to be to take down the anaconda quickly. Before it knows it, the Komodo could find itself in the anaconda's lethal embrace, a hug that's anything but affectionate. The anaconda's method of killing by constriction is not just effective. It's ruthlessly efficient. Internal bleeding for the Komodo dragon is almost a certainty, a grim end for the king of lizards. And then, in a final act of dominance, the anaconda would proceed to swallow the dragon whole, a feat that's as impressive as it is horrifying. It's the animal kingdom's version of a victory lap. So, when pitted against each other, the outcome leans heavily in favor of the anaconda. The snake's sheer size and strength, coupled with its mastery of the squeeze, make it a formidable opponent for almost any creature, Komodo dragon included. The dragon, for all its ferocity and venom, is playing a game of speed chess with a constrictor that has mastered the long game. Enter the ring, a grizzly bear, essentially a fur-coated tank on 4 legs, tipping the scales at a whopping 900 lbs of muscle, claws, and bad attitude. On the other side, the Komodo dragon, Earth's attempt at recreating a dinosaur without actually bothering with the size or the terrifying roar. Sure, the Komodo dragon might seem like the underdog here, with its weight barely reaching the halfway mark of the bear's, but underestimate this reptilian relic at your own peril. Let's break it down. The bear, with its sheer bulk and power, seems poised to turn the Komodo into the latest addition to its diet. Think of a sushi chef eyeing up a particularly plump tuna. The fight, in all likelihood, would be less of a battle and more of a one-sided mauling, with the bear leveraging its considerable heft to literally tear the lizard a new one. It's not exactly a fair fight. It's more like pitting a heavyweight boxer against a particularly scrappy middle schooler.